Hello, Shadow here. During this time of economic strife, I've created this video not to go into detail of the economic collapse of the United States. Okay, you'll hear that a lot out there. So, what I'm here is to inform you. Okay, now I'm not going to stand here on this side and preach like I've seen in other videos with this kind of fuel of fear, this contempt for my fellow man, or some obscure paranoia. That's not what I'm here to do. Now, some of the things I'll discuss would only be used in the most dire circumstance, and honestly, that's not something I wish for. I don't want to see people get hurt. I don't like to see people suffer. I've been fortunate to see the rest of the world firsthand in my travels. I've seen some real suffering in places where people live with this uncertainty for the families and real horrible conditions, and that's not something to glamorize about. With all that aside, let me just share some tips of what you might want to consider for your preparations. Okay, storage. You'll need a cool place, be it a closet, a garage somewhere you can have access to your goods if need be, and water. That's our first physiological need. We'll need plenty of water. If you're going to prepare to purchase water for storage, try to avoid those gallon containers, those gallon milk jugs that you see at the grocery store. You can certainly buy those, but I would suggest purchasing an actual water container. Okay, you can buy them at a sporting goods store, a home supply store. They run about $10 for a 5-gallon container. The reason I tell you not to purchase the store gallon containers is because they're flimsy, number one, and the containers are designed to break down due to environmental reasons. Okay, it's just like in a landfill. So in time, your water's integrity container can be compromised. So get an actual water container. Okay, if you decide to go to a home supply store and purchase a clean trash can, okay, to store a lot of water, as I've heard someone suggest, I would strongly discourage that, just because the chemicals used to manufacture those containers have rodent deterrents. Okay, and can contaminate your water, and it can leak into your water supply. So you don't want that. Now, if you need to sterilize water that's been sitting in a container, maybe you purchase a water container, it's been sitting there, you're not sure if it's still good, you can drop a drop or two of bleach, and that can ensure that it's still safe. Okay, obviously you want to use your own judgment. If the water's been compromised, something has gone wrong with the water, maybe you need to question yourself if it's even worth the risk of drinking or trying to sterilize it. As a side note about bleach, you should have a gallon or two of bleach on hand at all times. Not only can it be used for water sanitation purposes, and then you have your everyday household uses, but in addition, it can act as an emergency biological decontamination. I know. How is that possible? It is. You can put 9 parts bleach to 1 part water. There's a whole other thing that I'll probably create a video on, just on decontamination in a biological or chemical issue or attack. So we'll talk about that in another video. Quick tip on water. If for some reason you're trying to transport water on the fly, you can always utilize a trash bag and a pillowcase. So if you put you have a pillowcase and a trash bag, you put the trash bag inside the pillowcase, fill up the trash bag with water, and now you have a carrier for that bag. So that way it's not going to break, it's not going to go anywhere. You have that trash can supported by that sleeping pillow. That sleeping bag. I'm sorry, not sleeping bag, the sleeping pillowcase. I'm sorry. Again, the non-potable water source applies there as well, because it's not. They use the same kind of chemicals to create those bags as well for rodents and insects and stuff. So just avoid that. You can use it for showering, shaving, or something. You can be creative. Okay. Food MREs. There's a standard MREs, a meals ready to eat. If you store in a cool, dry place, they can last about 10-11 years if you take care of them. They're bulky, but if you ration them and spread them out over the course of the day, you can. But obviously, if you're using a physically kind of demanding environment, that doesn't apply. What you can do, but if you're sitting around and spread it out, it can last. Now, if you're the average Joe and you want to purchase food now, you can purchase rice at, like, say, a Whole Food place. You can buy a 50-pound bag for about $20-30, and that's as the price that you can buy it now. As the dollar drops and goes down, that price is probably going to go up. Canned meats are good and can last for some years if you take care of them. It's best to keep an inventory of the list of items that you're about to expire. That way you can cycle through and you know which ones that you need to use now before they expire. Purchasing everyday items. Toilet paper, you'd be surprised how much of a luxury item that is. Okay. Toothpaste, medicines, if you're someone that requires them. Everyday items that you use. Excuse me. A little tip that you can use when purchasing items. If you go out and buy some paper towels, buy another one. Stick in the closet or the garage, whatever, and you use the other one. Before you know it, you have a pretty big supply of stuff surplus away for you and your family. You'd be surprised how quickly it adds up. In regards to the dollar going down, you and I are both seeing this firsthand. Okay, I would strongly suggest, as I've seen others suggest, buying gold and or silver. Someone had mentioned the example, if you sunk a ship with a bunch of gold and you sunk another ship with US dollars and pulled it up 100 years later, that gold's still going to be worth its value. And as times get tough, the value of money, the confidence in the dollar is going to drop. People are going to be walking around with more money in their pockets, and no one's going to really utilize it as much as, say, gold or silver. Okay, and purchasing something like that, you're not really risking anything. If anything, it's going to appreciate in value. And try to stick with things that are familiar with people, coins, symbols like eagles or something that people know that it's a legit form of trading for them. Okay, just an example. If you look at the Deutschmark at the end of World War II, okay, you literally needed a pile of Deutschmarks just to buy a loaf of bread, and no one really wanted the Deutschmarks. Okay, so just something to consider. Have a radio on hand, something with the dynamo, something with batteries. When all communications cut off, you're going to want some kind of updates. Okay, get in a battery inverter. You can get an electronic inverter. You can light up. You can turn on a small TV, hook it up to an auto battery, a deep cycle battery. You can get some information that way, or have a radio. Okay, you're gonna want that. For this video, I'm just going to wrap up on the topic of guns. I'm just going to tread lightly. I don't want to sound like a fanatic. Get some ammunition. At the very least, have some kind of firearm on hand. It's better to need it and not have it than have it and not need it. Or other way around. You've probably heard that before. Get some ammunition. You notice that the ammunition is probably disappearing, as I noticed. Be it that the electoral changes that is happening or people panicking, whatever. It's good because if something really goes bad, which I hope it doesn't, you could always use that as a form of trading. That there's always going to be that need for ammunition if something goes awry, and if it becomes a scarce commodity. When I get a chance, I'll make another video more in depth on more gear differently from the standard. This is your basic necessities, and focus more on being more independent and being more of a specialist in an uncertain environment. Okay, so even though I don't know your name or who you are, I still wish you the best. And take care of yourself, and I welcome your comments or comment if you have them, and I'll see you next time.